over here. All right, so this morning I'm going to share some resources from the public library and other places that can help you and your students. I have created a Google site for all of this, so at the end I'll share the website for you so you don't have to take an extreme amount of notes. Don't worry about jotting down the websites because that's all going to be there for you. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Okay. So I'd like to introduce all of the library media specialists in the county. My name is Elena Crowder. I'm at the high school. Prior to this, I was at Capron Elementary School as the library media specialist, as well as a teacher. I was mostly third grade. Penny Hart is at the middle school. Prior to that, she was at Meharon Elementary School. At Riverdale, we do not currently have anybody, but I hope they will find someone soon. At Meharon, we have Julie Darden, and she was also a teacher prior to moving into the library. At Nottoway, we have Brianna Whitfield, who is one of my former students, making me feel pretty old. And at Capron, we have Erin Harcum, who was previously at the middle school in special education. So if you have any questions about anything I'm presenting today, of course, you can get in touch with me or you can get in touch with one of them and they'll be happy to answer your questions. All right, so I'm going to start with the website. And we're going to go with public library resources first. Our public library is called the Blackwater Regional Library. That includes Franklin, Cortland, Sussex, Windsor. I'm probably leaving one of them off. But they pool all of their resources together and spend their money together so that we can have all of these things. All right, I'm going to stop screen share for a second. September is library card sign-up month. And you've got two different kinds of library cards. You have this one, which is the full access library card. That means you can go in and check out books. You also have access to their digital materials. The other kind of library card that you can have is a virtual library card that looks like this. And this only gives you access to their digital materials. In order to log in with either one of these, there is a barcode on the back of it, and you have a PIN number. If you went through the library, they typically give you a 4-digit PIN of your birth year. So if you've never set it up before, that's probably what it is. You can go in and change it, or you can call them, contact them to change it. I started this process with the high schoolers last year since we went one-to-one with the iPads. I probably have about half of them signed up. It's a long, lengthy process to do this because they have to go and fill out an application. I turn it into the library. They put all their information in there. But it gives them a lot of resources that I cannot, such as their free ebooks and their databases. If they signed up with me, I gave them a different PIN number. So if they forget, they can always contact me to get that information. All right, back to screen share. All right, so the first app I want to talk about is Libby. I asked Tech to push this out to all of the iPads if it wasn't already there. I know it's on the high school iPads. This is Overdrive's personal app for checking out ebooks. This one is called Sora, and this is the school app for checking out ebooks, and this is what we're going to be moving to as soon as Bill sets it up with Tech. I keep forgetting there's this little waiting room over here. All right, I better leave that up. So the difference between Libby and Sora is Libby doesn't filter anything for our kids. So elementary would have access to the higher level books that you may not want them to have access to just due to the content. Sora, once we move into that, it does filter it by age. There's also some options there for renting textbooks. So if a teacher wanted to do a whole class, study on a book, then I'm not sure how much it costs yet because I can't get in there to see that. But it should be a decent price, and then they could buy the whole class set, rent the textbook, read it, and then return it. And the other benefit of Sora is that our students would not have to contact the public library to check out the books, that we would work with the library. They have something called Public Connect in there, and they would automatically be able to borrow books from the public library that we do not own. So that just gives us access to hundreds more books that we currently do not. Sora will give us about 200 for free once we get into that program. So that's the direction I really want us to move into, especially because the Blackwater Regional Library right now, if the kids want to sign up for the virtual or the public library card, the virtual application is online, and I have a link for that up here. But the library is requiring them to email the application in and then physically come and pick it up. And I know a lot of our students are just not able to do that. So I wanted to at least give them access to the public books. Okay, some other things that they have available. And I put notes up here. To use Libby and borrow ebooks, you do have to have a public library card. So this is what Libby looks like on a desktop. The app is going to look a little different. They do have classic books that are available with no waiting list. So they have over 190 of those. And then we have some categories down here. So you can see that they have something for all ages. If you click on explore more subjects, that's where I found the picture books. But we've got, our young adult for middle school and high school. We have adults. So they have a little bit of everything there. And it's really easy to see if something is available or not. Let's click on this one. If it says borrow, it's available. If it says place hold, then that puts you on a waiting list. But this one, they do have 9 copies available. So that one would be very easy to get. All right, another thing that they have on their website is RB Digital. RB Digital also requires the library card. They have audiobooks available, ebooks, magazines, and they're the only program that they offer that actually has magazines available. So I like that one. They also have an app called Freeding. And to be honest, with Freeding, I haven't seen quite as many up-to-date books. But I mean, there are a few there because I see The Hate U Give down here. But I saw a lot of older books in there. I see they have a couple of things that are new, like Pete the Cat. But it works the same as the rest of them as far as borrowing, and you get to download it to your device. Most of these, if you're going to be sharing with the students virtually, you can go to this desktop version and you can pull it up and turn the pages online, which will be very helpful. I think it was RB Digital that has a limit of 18 per month that you can check out. Hoopla has a limit of 6 per month. So you can borrow 6 more titles this month. Hoopla has movies, they have music, they have a little bit of everything. I'll show you my history and then we'll go to browse. For example, I found the movie for Dragons Love Tacos and Knuffle Bunny and The Pigeon, because I have a kindergartner, so we like to read those books and watch those. The Hate You Give, I personally checked out for myself because I couldn't find it anywhere else. It was on hold for quite a while. So Hoopla was good because it had simultaneous access and I could check that out. All right, so audiobooks, movie, music, comics, ebooks, and television. But like I said, they only have 6 rentals available per month, so you kind of need to ration yourself on what you're going to check out. If you're teaching elementary school, you can just click children's titles only and filter that out. And they do have some good stuff up here. And again, you can log in on your desktop and you can screen share this to your students. You can also, if you're elementary, click kids up here at the top and it'll do the same thing for filtering it out. All right. Now we have a couple of databases that are really good for research. For elementary, they have Gale and Context. I have 2 different links here because the way the public library materials work, either the public library is paying for the materials or they're getting it free because the Library of Virginia is paying for them. So some of these links I have linked to Find It Virginia, which is through the Library of Virginia. And that way our students will not have to have the library card to get in. If for some reason the links do not work, I do have the other link through our public library, but that would require the library card. So I just tried to put both up here so that our kids can get in. So Gale in Context is going to take you to Find It Virginia, and this was the only way to get you there because if I linked it directly, it was reading it off of my computer and it would not go to that website. So you have to click through here yourself so that it registers that your computer is actually in Virginia. Yep, that one's not working. All right, go here. Well, let's try it. Let's see if it'll let us in. Nope. All right, so that's one that has a little hiccup going on. All right, we're going to skip to the next one then. Explora has a database for all grade levels. So they have primary, middle, and high school. So let's start with primary. And I want to talk about World Book Online in a minute, but this is kind of set up the same way where they can go in and look at their different categories, or they can come up here and search for something. And then over on the side, they can change it to whatever year they would like. They can also just click magazines, biographies, books, ebooks. Most of these are going to have the full text available or the ability to download or even to save it to their own personal research folder over here. And all of them are going to have the citation. So if you're teaching them, there's a little site link over here. If you're teaching them to add that at the end of their presentations or papers, then they can just copy and paste that over in whatever format you want them to use, usually MLA. So they can just take this and copy and paste that over. All right, middle school is going to look the same way. It's just going to be on that higher level. And again, they could come up here and search. And high school, I think the high school and the middle school might be tied in together, because they look the same to me. Okay, the public library also gives us access to the Cricket Media Collection. This goes up to 8th grade only, though. I just have to scroll down to get there. Now, this database has ebooks, but I recommend really digging in and searching, because what I'm seeing on the highlight page is not very appealing. But if you come down here at the bottom, you can see that they have some better books available. And this is another one that you can screen share with your students and read in class, or you have the ability to download the books. Like I said, make sure you dig in and look around, because what they had highlighted on the first page looked like things that they had created themselves, and it's really hiding the good books. Thank you, Erin, for answering, and Julie for answering the questions over here. All right, so far, all of these at the top give you ebooks, movies, comics, audiobooks. These two right here are databases to help your students with research. You can start very young with them, and your library media specialist in elementary school will definitely help you with that. Cricket eMedia has the ebooks, but it only goes up to 8th grade. All right, I'm going to continue down with the public library resources. These three are more ebook collections that are available. The first one goes from kindergarten to 8th grade. And then we have a high school collection, and we have a history collection, which I don't think I see any of my history teachers up here on the participants list, but they had some really good ones in there. So hint, hint, go check that one out. All right, here's the K-8 version. I have to scroll down and get to it. And again, they don't have a lot on the front page, so I would really dig in to the categories over here on the left, or go to the search bar and look around. They've got the same one scrolling across the bottom that they had in the other database. Let's see what's in literature. Got some Shakespeare in here. See what we have in fiction. Anne of Green Gables, fairy tales. And of course, you can narrow your search results over here on the side too. And go under advanced search for your particular grade levels. Okay, the public library also has several other different programs that will be really useful at home or at school. This one is called Universal Class. It does require the public library card, so it's probably one that they pay for and it's not free through the Library of Virginia. But I do have my stuff signed into that if this little thing would leave. Okay, so under Universal Class, they have some recommendations in here, but let's go to the course catalog. And here are the options. They have just about everything up here, and they are taught by an actual instructor, but there may be, some lag time on getting quizzes graded and questions answered. But I did check into a couple of courses in here. They especially have some things just for hobbies if you want to learn about something in your spare time. All right, they have the Learning Express library, which has over 770 practice test tutorials and ebooks. I logged into that one too, so we could look around in that. It does let you kind of explore without logging in, but after that, you will need your public library card to get to this. So here's some help on getting a GED, preparing for the ACT, SAT, and more. Let's see what else they have here. PSAT is here, AP exams, essays for college. Here's the GED information. Under career prep, where's Rita Yuri? Cosmetology, culinary arts, Jason Williams. I saw Dee Dee prepare for nursing exams is up here. All right, school center. Let's see what they have under middle school. So they have math practice over here, English, high school entrance exam. So, I mean, this database has a lot of information in it. But again, they have to have that library card to get into this. So I highly recommend it. I know that they don't necessarily have the parent that's going to take them there and sign for the card, and there may be some transportation issues, but they do have a lot of resources available to us. Adult skills, becoming a U.S. citizen, and then Spanish resources. Okay, then we have Rocket Languages and Rosetta Stone, which will be really good for our foreign language classes. I logged into Rocket Languages so you can see what they have available there. I'm just going to click on Spanish.
Bienvenidos a la primera lección.
Welcome to lesson 1.1 of the Rocket Spanish interactive audio course. In this course, you'll learn not only to understand spoken Spanish.
So this may be something to supplement your French and Spanish classes. This is what Rosetta Stone looks like. They have all of these choices as soon as you log in. I don't know exactly what to pick, so I'm just going to pick one. So basic sentences. Okay, so you have to grant access to your microphone so that you can practice speaking. So I'm not going to do that right now, but you can see they had several languages available up here too. Again, they both require that public library card. So at the very least, I recommend that you get one as a teacher if you don't already have one. And that way you can go online, log into these things, and then do your screen share so that you can have access to these things. Hobbies and crafts. They have several topics up here as well that you can go in and read magazine articles, possibly some articles from books in here, and learn how to do some things. So this might be good for, I saw one of our art teachers logged in earlier. This might be something good for them to go look at. Okay. They also have 2 databases available for careers. The first one on the Find at Virginia website said it's going to end at the end of September and will no longer be available. So I don't know if our library is going to pick it up and pay for that. But they have career transitions. Let me go back. All right. Career transitions and Peterson's career prep. On the career transitions, I really like this one over here, an interview simulation, because our high schoolers could really use that. So to walk them through writing a resume and a cover letter, give them some tips, and then they can practice an actual interview. They can look at their career interests and browse paths, find schools and programs. So this is a good database. Like I said, the one website said it ends at the end of September, so I'm not sure if they're going to continue to pay for that one or not. This is the Peterson's career prep, and they can still create a resume in this one, find a career, go through some modules to help them with their career seeking process. So they both offer a few different options there. All right. Then they have Novelist Plus, which if we click here, they do not need their library card. It will give them, it will answer that question of what should I read next? Let's find it in the list. All right, here's Plus and here's K8. So they can choose on the front page, I'm in the mood for, and they have a few options, or they can make their own choices or just look around. And when I clicked on something before, they had this option on the side that I liked. So if they go pick a book that they've read before, they can come down here on the right side and they'll have some books that are similar. Because I have a lot of kids that come to me and they only have one type of book that they like to read and they just kind of want to stay in that genre. So this is a really good database for picking books that are kind of the same. I'm not sure what the difference is between just Novelist K8 and the K8 Plus, but they both seem to do the same thing. Okay, so I think there were a few more things with the public library that I did not mention. I think there for adults, there's genealogy up there and legal forms and things like that. So just explore their websites. I put all of their information right here. There's the link for the virtual library card application. Find It Virginia is the link for the Library of Virginia's resources. And I found this in an email. It's worth trying out that you may be able to log into some of these resources without having the public library card if you use this username and password. Okay, before I go down, I want to see if there's anything in the chat that I need to answer before I move on. All right, so all of that was just strictly public library. These are other free things that I have found that we can use in the classroom. I tried to get all levels. You will see the elementary is really standing out because there's just a lot of stuff out there available for elementary school. And like I said, I have a kindergartner, and I'm a former elementary teacher, so I really look at that stuff still. One thing I do need to mention that's available for free to all teachers in Virginia is eMedia VA, and has content aligned to your curriculum. They do have an ability to check your login status. If you do not know your login, you can search and see if you have an account first. If it shows that you do not, please contact your ITRT and they can help you get in here. They will let you come in here and look around, but you really need to get into your account in order to download and use some of their other features. All right, I've got some music teachers up here, so let's see what they've got. So you can search by SOLs. Let's look for video. Nope, no results for that one. Bad choice. All right, here we go. Schoolhouse Rock. All right, so you can play the video from here. You can add it to a playlist. If I'm correct, I haven't had training on this one in a few years, but I think you can add your class in here, create playlists for them that you want them to watch, send it to them. You can also download it if your internet's a little sketchy, and you can, I'm sure, embed it into Schoology. All right, so this one, it tells you at the bottom what the permitted use is. So this one you cannot share or modify. They have a lot of good resources up here. I think some of the activities are interactive, but this is a good start for if you're looking for an educational video. I would come here. You can see their content is coming from PBS. And we've been using this for several years. If you've been here as long as I have, it used to be called United Streaming. So it's a part of WHRO and PBS, so I would use that one, definitely. Okay, the next one that I really, really recommend for elementary school, especially until we can get our Sora platform up and running and we can buy some ebooks for the county, I recommend using Epic. They have made it available free again, but they have put some parameters on that this time. It's only available from 7 until 4, Monday through Friday, but students can get 2 extra hours per week to use after the 4 o'clock or on the weekends. And I have a parent account right now, but I'm sure the teacher account would look similar to this. So this is because I'm paying for it right now. So I hope someone sets this up at Riverdale so I can get this one for free. So this is what we use mostly. Last spring, I had Aaron add him to the Capron list just so I could get the free books. One thing I have noticed about Epic, I do love it, but on the app, it just seems to, like, the main page, it just keeps showing the same books over and over again. So what I did, because we read this every night before bed, what I did was I went in through my parent account and I assigned him some books to read, which I know you can do on the teacher side as well. Aaron, can you turn your mic on and talk about how you use this at Capron?
Sorry, I had to find the unmute button. So basically when I would try to do stations at times, and I would, whatever the theme was, if we were doing fairy tales, I would gather a group of fairy tales and assign it to them, and then they'd get to choose which fairy tale they wanted to read or listen to. It just depended on the assignment, but I would gather groups of books, and then they'd get to choose what they wanted to listen to or read.
All right, so you set it up for the whole school, right?
Yes, I set it up for the whole school.
And you can set what grade level they are under.
Yes. And it does, some of the books are AR, and it'll tell you if it's AR. And you can choose by AR level.
They do have some, characters in here that we recognize, the Discover books. I mean, I've liked it so far, just from the parent side. They also have videos in here. Julie, did you use it any?
And I can tell you, I used it all the time. Instead of just finding a book, well, they had more choices, but I could find a book for them to listen to instead of me reading a book.
Yeah. And all of those say read to me on them.
I did not use it last year because I didn't have it set up, but every student at Maharan has an account this year, and they've really been liking it so far. And I've used it with my daughter, and I like the option of where it says like read to me, because she's still learning how to read. So like she can sit there and look at a book without me having to be actually reading it to her.
Yeah, that's what I end up doing a lot too. And so here's some of the ones that are popular that we are aware of. Magic School Bus is up here. Now, it will tell you up here, so this is an audio book, so listening skills involved there.
Yes, and it doesn't show you the pictures, it's just you listening to the book.
Exactly. The read to me books, usually the narrator is pretty good. I've seen a couple of books where they were reading so slow that I just hit pause on the audio and read it myself, but for the most part, I think it's really good. And that is up through middle school. There's not really a lot up here for our high schoolers, but there were some chapter books in there. So I run into that a lot too, because we'll pick something he really likes, like, here we go, superheroes. And there'll be something that he really wants to read, but it's, 200 pages. And, we could read a chapter each night, but, it will tell you up here the grade levels. Let's just see what this one is. So we've got 8 through 12. It has 56 pages, so just be aware of some of those. But again, this is another good one for pulling it up on the website, doing a screen share if you're doing a read aloud to your class. So I really like that one. The next one is called Books. This has animated storybooks. I do not have an account, so I can't log in and show that one to you, but teachers do get a year for free, and this link will take you directly to that page to sign up for that.
Their stories, their pictures are really pretty. I like how they've They've done it, but there's not a lot of choices. Not as many choices.
Not as much as Epic.
Right. But the ones that they have are really nice.
So here's a sample over here that you could check out. But I made sure that these took you to the free page so that you could go ahead and sign up for that. Novel effects, I do have this one on my phone app. This one is really neat for read alouds if you've never tried this one. This isn't going to show you much. Just tells you where to get your download. You take a book that you already own, and they have several choices. I'm trying to think of one that I've read. I can't think right now. But as you're reading, it syncs up with your voice, and it adds sound effects in the background. So it really brings it to life. I know it does a little bit more than that. I just haven't dug into it. So that one's a neat one. Okay, we know that everyone is getting obsessed with the Bitmoji classrooms and libraries. I have a couple of words of caution about that, and then I'm going to show you some resources. One word of caution is that Safe YouTube, which is what we've been linking our YouTube videos to, because it will remove the ads and it removes all of the videos on the side so that they aren't clicking on everything and getting sidetracked. Safe YouTube recently got hacked, and their links started to go to places they didn't need to go to. I saw in one of my professional groups, they had one of their links go straight to porn, and the parent caught it before the child saw it. So if you have anything linked to SafeTube, I would just go back and make sure that the link is what it needs to be on. I do have a couple of alternatives down here. I have not checked any of these things to see if they are blocked at school, so you might have to check that. But I do recommend using one of these options just to remove those ads and the other things that it's going to suggest the kids to click on. Or you can just embed your YouTube videos into whether you're using Google Slides or Schoology. But I do have, hopefully it's going to go there. Going slow. I have collected several, as in like 52 different Bitmoji libraries that people have already created. Hopefully that will come up. The first one that's going to be on the list is a link to 52 copyright permission libraries. Here it is. Now, all of these things are in my Google Drive, and they're set to make a copy automatically. So you should not have too many issues making copies of these things because it should not have a lot of traffic. I'm adding to this constantly because I'm in that Bitmoji Craze for Educators group on Facebook, and I was collecting these for the library media specialist. But this top one right here, someone went ahead and created 52 different rooms where they know that the copyright is accurate. It's not going to just a random person on YouTube that's reading these books. In the spring, the publishers did give permission for a lot of these read alouds. My other word of caution to you is if you're doing a read aloud, I would not post those videos publicly. I would not put them on a public YouTube site. You can put it on a private link to share with your students, or you can put your videos in Schoology. But I just would not be reading a lot of books online to where you're going to run into a copyright issue and have your video taken down or the publisher contacting you. And Disney is really big on suing people for copyright infringement. So I would just keep everything on a closed site like Schoology, or like I said, on a private YouTube video and not a public link so that everyone can see it. But there's a lot of stuff up here, just so you're not starting from scratch if you're really getting into the Bitmoji classrooms. All right, I need to talk fast because we're starting to run out of time. Storyline Online has a lot of celebrity read alouds on their websites. I know I saw an ad for Oprah up here. We can click and just kind of go over and see who some of the celebrities are. So these are good read aloud. Audible has the Audible stories, but this again is audio only. There are no pictures, but they do have all grade levels up here: elementary, middle, high school, different languages. Harry Potter's available until September 30th. So if they're a student that really, they've got the print in front of them, but they also want to listen to it, then this is a good option for them, or listen in the car. This is a new one I have not looked into, but Penna is audiobooks, and teachers can get 6 months for free, but this only goes up to the 6th grade. All right, this one is an infographic I made for my high schoolers. So there are a few more free ebook websites listed over here on the right side of this infographic. And I just wanted to remind you, some of the games that the kids play already have books in them. So ABC Mouse has books that they can read. Khan Academy Kids, that's a really good free app, and they have some books in there. I know our teachers are using Reading Eggs. And then I found out Fun Brain has books. The website's a little distracting, but they've got some books available up there. For our teenagers, Simon Teen lists at the top of this website some free books every month, but they rotate it out. Some of them are full reads, some of them are just excerpts. There's an extended one. But they can just read these online for free. I think they had maybe 20 when I counted those, so that's a good option. Image Comics, all of their first issues are free up there. And it just reminds you of some things that you probably already know about. Kindle Unlimited, if you've never tried that before, they have 2 months free. And you do have the ability in Amazon, in your Amazon account, to pull your book up on the screen. So you can do that and do your screen share with your students again. Something I found out about that I thought was really neat. They have now I can't think of what it is. They have some animated Kindle in Motion. There you go. Kindle in Motion books. So I reread the first Harry Potter book, and as you're turning the pages in the Kindle, you know, you have things come off the page. So those are really neat, but there's only a few of them. The next one I want to read is The Secret Garden, because that one looked neat. Audible has 30 days free, plus you can get 1 or 2 free books depending on what you choose in there. You can always search for free books on Kindle, Nook, and Google Play. Unite Books is for preschool and primary only, but they are available online. You click here on Read Free Books. And it will read to them.
The Peanut Butter and Jelly Song. The Peanut Butter and Jelly Song.
He's not singing. I was hoping he was going to sing that one. I just found out about KidLit TV. They have shows, music, podcasts, and more. I know these are not free ebooks, but they're still worth mentioning. ReadWorks has nonfiction and fiction passages for all grade levels. And don't forget that our Accelerated Reader program has nonfiction passages in there that you can assign to your students. The Library of Congress has 51 classic books available on their website. And then I put this one up here because there's just not enough time to go through all of these free ebook websites. But this was a really good one that kind of put everything together. We do have World Book Online available to us at school. If the kids go to the student instructional page and click on it while they're in a building, it will automatically go there. If they are at home, they need this login information. Please do not post this on your public website. You can post it in Schoology because that is a closed platform, but do not post it anywhere that someone from another school system or just the general public can get into it, because we pay for this. So we just want our kids to be the only ones available to use it. And I'll give that a second. Oh, there it goes. We have the early world of learning. So that would be our preschool kids. This one is kids, so that's elementary. Student is more middle school. Advanced is high school. They can go in here and create timelines. We do have some ebooks available in here. Let's see if that's gonna go there. And Discover is more for the life skills students. I just see someone had a question in the chat box about life skills. So World Book is, you know, the online version of the encyclopedia, and they have a lot more things in here. This could use its own training, to be honest, but I just wanted to point out that we do have this available, and that's being really slow, so I want to go back here. This is an infographic I made on it, so it has a little blurb about everything. I have detailed documents about it if you click here. And then if you click on resources and support, this takes you to my Tech Tuesday site that I use for staff. This whole page is just all about World Book Online, but I want to point out that I have all of this stuff across the top. And if you click on more, there's more information here. So feel free to go to this website and get more information on other things. All right, here's our ebooks. So they have a lot of nonfiction. But again, we can read it on the screen, share it to our students. History books, they have a lot of stuff up there. Okay, some other resources. I wanted to point out, if you were not aware, that Headspace is a meditation app, and it is free for teachers if you sign up and get the education account. You know, they have music and sleep casts and all kinds of things. I think we all need a little bit of that right now. Emotional ABCs is a free social emotional learning curriculum. I've used that myself. Moody the Monster is the character, and he's really cute. They have things online that you can walk Moody through different scenarios and have him pick what he would do. I showed you my Tech Tuesdays website, my Bitmoji file. Teacher tutorials, parent tutorials. Some of our tech gurus are putting this together, like Jake Miller. You can see all the people at the top. So this is the teacher version, and they make sure you click these tabs at the bottom. They have the Google Apps, a bunch of how-tos here. Then they have other apps. So they do have some Schoology tips, Seesaw tips, Flipgrid, things, all these, we'll look at all the Schoology stuff. All these things that we are using. And then they have the student and parent version as well. So they have a lot of how-tos in there of things you can just go and check out. The American Association of School Libraries. Every year they vote on the best websites and apps. So now they're just calling them the best digital tools. Before they had the apps and websites. So this is their list from this year. So there's the emotional ABCs. I personally want to check out the Fabulingua. There's Kidlit TV. And then they have an archive, from what I can tell, goes all the way back to 2010 of everything that has received this recognition before. So if you're looking for something new to try out, they have a lot of things up here. And as you can tell, I'm a big collector of information. So I have some Pinterest boards. These are some Facebook groups that I recommend. And since we're all on the computer a lot lately, I found some blue light blocking glasses on Amazon that have good reviews that I'm going to check out. So I thought I'd throw that link up there too. Okay. I'm going to stop screen sharing now, and we're going to go to questions and answers. If anybody wants to unmute and talk or put something in the chat. Anything
Lena.
else you want me to show you? Yes, ma'am.
Which site was it for the peanut butter and jelly book?
That was United for Literacy,
Thank you.
the pre-K, primary pre-K
Yeah.
only website. Okay, I'm checking out the chat now since I obviously wasn't talking the whole time and not looking over here in the chat box.
You said you were going to put the link to this in the chat, right?
I'm going to put it, let me re-share my screen real quick. Okay, here's the link. Nope, that's too big. Hey, does anybody else have any questions, or Aaron and Julie, you want to come on and add anything that I have missed?
I think you covered way more than I could ever imagine.
If y'all have never worked with me before, I'm a little bit extra, and I'm sorry. So I know it's information overload. That's why I made the Google site, so you can just go back and check all of these things out.
I think there's a lot of different stuff up there for a lot of different positions to be able to use.
Yes. I do feel like there was a lot of elementary, but like I said, there's just so much available out there for elementary. And I keep gravitating back to that because I'm just, elementary at heart, and plus I have a kindergartner. But I also teach, at the high school, so I try to throw a little bit in there. I personally have never taught 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, but I tried to make sure there was some middle school material up here as well. All right, well, thank you, Aaron and Julie, for answering the questions in the chat box for me. And if there are no more questions, that's it. I hope y'all have a great day.
Thank you.